we go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Winnetka Village Council regular meeting for March 1st, 2022. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and I've asked Trustee Apatow to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. How about it, huh? All right. Item 3 is quorum check. Rob, would you like to check quorum, please?
So we have March 8th study session and the March 15th regular meeting. All good?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 4 is public comment. This is the time of the evening where anyone joining us here in the room or through email can address the Village Council on any item that is not on the agenda. Is anybody here tonight to speak on an item that is not on the agenda? Seeing none. Kristen, did we receive any emails this week that would amount to public comment? Thank you. All right, so we'll move along. Item 6 is approval of the agenda.
I got reports first.
Oh, I was working off of that, sorry. Oh, we have reports. Trustees, anybody have any reports tonight?
We had the Plan Commission regroup with Lakota Group.
Are these on?
Yeah, it should be.
Mine's on. I think mine's on. I was just going to say, we had the Plan Commission regroup with Lakota Group to discuss the comp plan, and there were a lot of interesting findings and suggestions for what we should do moving forward, and it'll be fascinating to see what comes up to council.
Yeah, I was lurking in the in the shadows there, and was really impressed with the amount of work you guys are doing. And it's a heavy lift, and we really appreciate all the work that the Plan Commission is doing on that. Andy or Rob, anything?
Nope,
No?
good.
Okay. Village Attorney,
No report tonight.
Village Manager,
Nothing this evening.
and Village President. I just want to say that, you know, with all the stuff that's going on in the world today, this is just one of those times I think we have to count our good fortunes for being where we are, and you know, just think some kind thoughts for those poor people over in Eastern Europe who are having to deal with these horrible issues over there. So I've been thinking about it a lot, and
Likewise.
it's hard to turn on the TV lately, but hopefully this will come to a quick resolution, and the world will be right again. All right, item 6, approval of the agenda. Does any trustee wish to remove an item on the consent agenda for a separate vote? No. Seeing none, may I have a motion to approve the final form of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All right, voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 7 is the consent agenda, and I will ask the village clerk to read the items on the consent agenda.
Thank you. Approval of Village Council minutes for February 8th, 2022 study session. Approval of the warrant list dated February 8th, 2022 through February 21st, 2022 in the amount of $1,263,467.65. Resolution number R31, 2022, purchase of brick pavers. Resolution number R32, 2022, approving a contract with Wesco for the purchase of single-phase pole mount transformers. Resolution number R33, 2022, approving a contract with Okonite Company for the purchase of 15 kV underground cable. Resolution number R34, 2022, rejecting all bids, waiving bidding requirements, and awarding a contract to Wesco Distribution Incorporated for a 2500 kVA pad mount transformer. Resolution number R35, 2022, authorizing a purchase order for the Commercial District Floral Program. And resolution number R37, 2022, approving agreement with Thielen Sand and Gravel for landscape yard waste removal services.
Thank you, Rob. All right, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda by omnibus vote?
So moved. Second.
Roll call vote.
Trustee Apatow?
Yes.
Trustee Kripe?
Yes.
Trustee Mancini?
Yes.
President Rentz?
Yes. All right, moving on to ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number M4 2022, 455 Linden Street, variations and certificate of appropriateness, and this is up for adoption. The applicant is requesting an approval of zoning variations and a certificate of appropriateness to allow construction of a new 4-unit multifamily residential development. The applicant has returned to provide Village Council with additional information regarding the landscape elements and to provide more detail regarding the design plans. Our Community Development Director, David Schoen, is here to review it. Thanks, David.
Yes, so as President Rins said at your last meeting, you asked the applicant to return and present, to explain a little more in terms of their design as well as their landscape plan. In addition, we did send out an email to all of the interested parties that we had emails for. We haven't received anything to date. I don't know if anyone's here this evening who wants to talk on this item. But with
Who are the, I'm sorry, the interested parties were all the people,
those, we had email addresses that had emailed comments.
okay, okay, thanks.
With that, I was going to turn it over to the applicant, but I don't see the applicant yet here. The attorney for the applicant is here, but the applicant and the architect are not here. I just checked my phone to see if they had tried to reach me by email.
Well, they've missed their chance. Are you two folks here for the public? Well, we'll hear your comments for sure, but we're not going to hear the applicant if he's not here when his case is called. So he'll have to come back at the end of March, unless he walks through the door right now.
And there they are.
You did.
How's that for timing?
Yes, so when you're ready.
It's one lot. This threw me. I thought that was
No.
We don't.
it's not.
Let me jump right to it.
Not rendering, but
Okay.
it really threw me when I saw it.
I'm with you.
Yeah, but I get it now. But first time I looked at it,
I just went and looked at the property, I was like, I didn't realize this house was gonna take some.
We'll come back to you folks, okay?
yeah.
Is it really? He's gonna have to go to the library.
Yeah, you've got to work from the mic, I'm sorry. So maybe you're,
Yes, let me.
So first of all, thank you so much for having us back. As usual, we learn what we need to learn from the first go-around and hopefully make an improved effort on the second go-around. So what we have today for you, for the 455 Linden project, is a more detailed presentation, foam boards of the project itself, the site plan, as well as the certain elevations that have more detail about the exterior cladding, the framed out windows, and the roof type. And we also have material here that we can pass around as well. In addition, there were certain questions about the landscaping, and we have detail on that as well. We don't show all the landscaping on this site plan because frankly, we're still debating what we're going to do, but we have examples that we can hand out to you to pass around amongst yourself to see if you agree. But basically what we're doing is typical Chicago Metro Midwest USA flower shrubs, perennials, low to mid-size growth, no thorns, because this is Winnetka, and more for boundary delineation and a little bit of extra delineation by the driveway that will be going down. So we'll have some height issues, so we have and some extra shrubbery there that we planned on. And we'll hand those out in a minute or two once we're done talking and I catch my breath.
Breathe.
And I'm happy to answer any other questions because we have more to show you, but this is basically the package, so to speak. And I think some of the files have been sent to you already. They have not. Okay, so then we will show these case by case.
Okay,
So here you have the site plan. You can see the driveway of the Cherry. This is where we'll have to have, there's an existing fence here, right on the eastern border. There will be a new fence, not very high, 3 feet at the most. More than anything, it's just to prevent people from walking onto the driveway or not paying attention. And then the shrubbery will also be part of that fence borderline. And then if I can go to the next one. Thank you. And this is Chris Talsma, by the way, our wonderful architect who we did not get a chance to introduce last meeting.
So looking,
So,
on Cherry looking north.
I'm sorry, say that again, Chris?
I'm sorry?
Okay.
What did you say about that?
This view is from Cherry, standing approximately in front of our neighbor to the east, looking to the northeast, yeah. I'm sorry,
Northwest.
standing to the west, looking,
Northeast,
yes, thank you.
okay.
tell by the shade.
This is a new view that we provided.
While you're doing that, I'm going to pass out.
I saw there was a question about, what the view from the south, or I'm sorry, from the north would be, and the planter that we'll be installing that has some new planting in it.
Sure.
Is that the appropriate scale too, based on the person standing in the foreground?
Yeah, I think she's kind of not very tall.
Okay,
I struggled with making sure that her proportions were correct, but I took it to be correct. I think she's not a tall person.
okay,
This is about 4 feet tall
gotcha.
along the property line with some new planting in it.
So cedars, hardy plant, okay.
It's always tough with the perspective on these renderings, the way that proportions get exaggerated. But one of the things that one of the big comments that we reacted to, I want to say, 2 meetings ago, was in regard to the pitch of the roof as it appeared to our neighbors to the north. There was some concern by some of our neighbors there that would be casting a longer shadow onto them. And so in response to one of the comments that we received from one of the members on the DRB about reorienting that roof to pitch it to the north so that there would be less of a shadow cast on them. We took that advice and we implemented it. So originally, if you look at this building, we had this gable extended to the back fully. So there was a taller wall plane on the north side of the building, so there would have been a longer shadow. But we changed the pitch of the roof in order to provide them with a little bit more light. So, we're doing a balancing between what your zoning ordinance asks for with regard to roof pitches, orientations and such. Obviously, there's a minimum, there's a maximum, so we tried to, very deliberately take into account the comments that we received at that DRB meeting, and this is the result of that.
So, I'm just confused. Is this the correct pitch now in this picture, or the other one?
No, they are both correct. This is the same building.
Can you put the other one, I'm really confused by the scale. Can you put that other one back up? Looks like a much steeper, much higher,
Well, it's, it all comes down to the, the perspective and the point where the camera is. But
I'm
this,
with you.
this is the rear of the building. I'm calling it the rear. This is the north lot line. And so you can see the roof pitches up and away. So this would be as, you know, if the camera were positioned approximately here, looking toward the building,
And crouched down.
and crouched
How,
down.
but in a matter of feet, how tall is that roof from where the ceiling ends and I'm just trying to understand.
Height of the building?
I'm just trying to get from the top, the second floor window to the roof. It just looks like a really steep,
What's the pitch?
yeah.
You know what, I apologize. Off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure it's about a 912.
Sounds about right.
It's on those elevations. I believe that stuff's all in the package that you guys have received.
Is there something in that roof,
Um,
or is it just design?
There's some vaulted ceilings in there.
Right.
For some of the bedrooms. Then there's some attic space as well.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I struggled a little bit with the zoning ordinance and helped me through it with regards to what counts as floor area and what does not. So I
Okay.
know there's some attic space that's not habitable that we had to count. There are some vaulted ceilings along the back there.
And Rob, that one rendering that really looks out of proportion.
Yeah.
Is where the camera is set. Because if you look at the rendering on the ground, if you pick that up for a second, the one on the bottom, laying on the floor, the one on the floor, that gives you a more realistic look at what the roof pitch is. It really is distorted on the
I
other
can
one.
live with that. The other one looks like a fun house. I mean.
Yeah, right, it's the same house, but just the view is whacked out.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I was just trying to get a handle on.
right. I think so, yeah. Just roughly looking at it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 912 is essentially the standard. I don't want to say it's done everywhere, but it is what people go to. It's a default for the most part, so.
Right.
We'll double check the elevations before we go, but I'm pretty sure that's
And that's another better view that you
a
see right
matter of
Yeah,
perspective on that one rendering with the tiny person.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the drawings here, and it's agenda packet, page 101, and it looks like it's either an 8 or a 9 there. I can't tell, John.
Yeah, the ordinance calls out for a percent, and
I think it says
so-
9.
9? Okay, so we're good.
Yeah, and if you look at the house, again, the rendering on the ground, on the floor, the roof, the house next door, it's kind of similar, the upper portion of that roof on the right. It's not that far off.
Yeah.
It is a view issue.
Okay. That helps me, a different view. The other one,
I kind of like the
Sure.
one with the Hobbit.
Other renderings we haven't gone through yet?
Which street is that facing?
this is Cherry.
Cherry.
So this is the main elevation.
So the driveway would be slightly to the east, and then to the west.
I know we talked, the screening, is that what I'm looking, right?
Yeah, well, right now, there's really tall shrubbery that's currants that have been there forever. And we've debated how we could save those, because they're 5 to 6 feet tall.
Well, there's some really tall, overgrown shrubs along the sidewalk there that I think will be not missed at all.
But is that like screening between the two, the black part in the middle? What is that? Is that just shade?
Oh, yeah. So this is brick and brick.
Gotcha.
And so through the DRB process, we proposed a variety of bricks. And at the last meeting that we had with them, this was the color that everybody at the DRB helped us choose, right?
Yeah, we had a slightly lighter color originally, and then we went with a more of a charcoal gray, darker charcoal gray.
And at one moment, I had something called Flamin' Hot Red
Oh, yeah. but
glazed
that was-
brick, but
Wow, yeah.
But that was just to tease the boys.
I thought it would have been kind of exciting, but
No, we,
Uh,
if you look back, if you want to look back at the second version of the DRB presentation, you'll see a very nice, really red brick facade, just a tiny bit in the middle.
Yeah, I think the gray came from Paul,
Okay.
right?
I'm sorry?
Our DRB member, Paul Constant, probably suggested the gray. I seem to remember that being,
Everybody
I think you're right.
was looking for a darker brick than we had proposed the last time.
Yeah, we had a light, was it like?
Something more buff.
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say tan,
Mhm.
but,
okay.
you know, I'm not an architect, so.
Tan, buff.
I know.
So while we're sitting there looking at the front elevation, now I get to ask the question again. Where's that piece of siding, Jen?
Chris, wait, before you do it, Chris, have the residents seen this, you know? Have you guys seen these designs?
These are not new, so I would
Right.
assume they have.
Okay,
These were published quite a long time ago.
They'll have, we'll give them a chance.
okay, great. I just didn't know if they wanted to look.
Now, have you seen the iterations of the designs? Okay. Well, maybe you guys want to sit up here at the table so you can see what's going on.
Thanks.
You can sit right up here, that way you'll be,
And we'll get to you in a sec.
you can come close.
Oh. Thank you.
We're easy to get along with here, until you answer the question wrong.
Oh, I'm gonna make him share mine now.
That comes out of escrow account probably.
Did you just lip that?
I totally did.
You're lucky it's not a PD. Okay. Architect,
Yeah.
I see some renderings here that appear that there's either a brick mold or a casing around these exterior windows. And then this looks like they're just punched openings. So,
There is a trim on the exterior.
so we're not getting this, right?
No. We're putting a casing, we're putting a trim around the windows. Yes.
They're framed out.
But like,
Size,
3.5?
3.5, 1 by 4?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. So it won't be a punched opening like what these renderings are.
Well, I mean, not to split hairs, but they are punched openings. But we are casing them. It's not, no, there isn't just a siding to window detail. We are trimming them. They will be trimmed.
Okay, same color?
Yes.
Okay.
the trim is, Chris, you think the trim is,
It's
Enough?
plenty. Yeah. Yeah, otherwise it starts to get too,
I was trying to understand with the gables, I mean, detail on the, is there gable detail that you have as well?
There's just a small fascia there. I mean, I typically try to, I'm kind of more minimal in my detailing. I don't like to overdo things. Had lots of conversations with the DRB about my attitudes toward architecture and design. So we do, I don't like to overdo it. That said, this building wants just some subtle hints of those details. So there will be, some characters, some shadow lines. They will be small, but they're there.
so more like what we're seeing on page 93 of the agenda packet. That middle elevation will give you a good idea of what they're doing at the, both at the fascia and at the windows.
There you go.
Which one is this? Do you know, what are we looking at? I know that I get this, but what are we looking at here?
Oh, I'm sorry. So I believe that's because the folks at Evanston Lumber weren't able to provide us the exact finish that we wanted. So the black in there is the finish, I think it's ebony. So he wasn't able to get me the sample.
So I'm just
you have-
looking at the black finish.
The black finish is the only thing to look at for that with regard to the windows.
The
Right.
windows.
The window finish, the window color,
The window
the frames.
The window frame, the sample that you've seen.
It's not a white window. It's
That's
that
gonna be
color.
black.
The sample is the one that we were to go with.
Okay.
I'm looking at this because I think this is the green we have in our windows, and I think
Okay.
that's the color it is.
We're not DRB though, guys, so
Yep, I get you.
let's keep it moving.
No.
All right, that pretty much,
Believe we're good for now?
Good.
unless,
other questions at this point?
Sure, the fence you're using, this 3-foot fence, what is the material?
Well, to be fair, I drew it at 5.5
You drew it a 5.5.
on the lot line.
It's gonna be
Wrought
re-
iron.
You heard the man, 5.5 feet, wrought
Five
iron.
and a half feet. And made of what?
Wrought iron.
Made of wrought iron?
Yes.
5.5 feet, okay. Is there any, as you're gonna be renting this building out, what do you do? I guess my big question is on maintenance and upkeep and for someone new in the village, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
And what do you, I didn't know if you have stuff planted. Do you do seasonal plantings at your other buildings? Do you do in the summer? Do you do lights in the winter? I'm just trying to understand what you do.
Well, in terms of just general upkeep, we have services that we hire for snow shoveling, snow plowing, and lawn care. And, you guys have seen them all over the place. They come out every week, every 2 weeks as needed, and they generally do a great job. In terms of maintenance calls, we have an emergency call system for things that happen after hours. If it's a typical maintenance issue, we have a web portal where they log on and request service and let us know. The main issue when we get a typical maintenance issue is, can we enter the apartment with or without the tenant being home? They tell us that in the web portal, and that tells us, when to go. And we have on-call approved tradesmen that know, they know the buildings. They know that if they get a call in the middle of the night or at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, that's part of their job. And we also have on-staff maintenance techs, and that handle the simple stuff. If somebody has a leaky faucet, we can do it. If somebody has a faulty furnace, we'll call a licensed HVAC professional.
Do you do you, and I don't want to split hairs here, but I'm just trying to understand, because I haven't worked with you before. What do you do to beautify that? Do you use flowers? I'm trying to make you fit in the neighborhood.
I'm sorry.
Landscape
I
maintenance.
misunderstood. No, we have, we have some basic landscaping that we've had to provide in the rear terrace as part of the DRB review, which
Right.
I think we've shared did we share that in one of the drawings? Oh, well, that's I just want to make sure you saw that. Oh, is that the one with the bad,
With the hobby.
with the bad height? Okay, so you can see some of that, but then in the front, we're going to have some additional shrubbery in the front based on whether the existing shrubbery survives the construction process. And we'll also have some basic flower, just to say landscaped floral arrangements, but not throughout. I don't believe in flowers on every inch that we could possibly do. We're going to have some land, so we're going to have some grass, we're going to have some mulch, we're going to have a little bit of perennials, but the point is that it will not be pure grass and it won't be pure gravel. It'll just be a mixture of mostly green with shrubbery. Perennials.
Okay.
I have a question.
and
What's your timeline for construction? If you were to be approved, let's say.
We assume that we get a permit 90 days, give or take, from now, and that's just a rough estimate on our part. We break ground 30 to 60 days after that. The 2-flat that we have today is currently occupied, and the tenants obviously know what our long-term plans are. We've been keeping them posted, and they know that we'll give them at least 60 days, 90 days notice to find other accommodations, and then we're hoping to start it this summer. But
And how long do you estimate this to take? Just living around construction?
Nine-
Be a burden?
9 to 12 months.
10 to 12 months, okay.
Yeah, all goes well. We get the foundation in, especially the underground garage, and get the shell up before weather changes. And that's really the goal. I think we have plenty of time for that. And I'm being conservative. I think we can do it a little bit faster, but I don't want to be too aggressive here in front of everybody here.
So I just want to let you guys know that I took the time to meet with Eamon and his spouse, and we had a really nice conversation. Helped them understand some of the concerns as a village that we have, and just, more of a welcome to the community, but this is how things work sort of a thing. And I can say that I walked away understanding that Eamon is very approachable and that he has good intentions and a good track record of executing on them. So, but Eamon, I think was pretty clear that, we have certain expectations for the way people operate in this town, and he seemed to be very consistent with what our expectations would be from that standpoint.
No, and listen, you were very clear. You do your own inspections. You walk around the village as you need to, and you're not shy about letting the staffers know of your concerns, and you weren't shy about telling us that you would call us directly if you had to. So we took it to heart, and
I will.
and we appreciate it. I mean, we know that the first thing we have to do is basically be good neighbors. So I think we have been. If you'll talk to anybody near the current building, it's been clean, it's been kept up, it's been calm and non-eventful, which I think is the plan. So hopefully that will continue even during a construction process that, well, sometimes, we all know contractors are not necessarily the most sensitive folks out there, but we think we've got some good guys working with us.
And if they're not sensitive, we'll enlighten them.
There you go. You got it.
So,
My main concern is, I'm glad you had the discussions, that helps, and I get, this is a money-making event, I'm not naive to that, I get it, you're not gonna spend your whole budget on flowers for the building, but it's just a matter of not just doing what's required by ordinance, but making yourself part of the neighborhood.
Well, if I
I'm
may,
good.
like,
Yeah. First of all, is there a specific landscaping requirement in terms of number of flowers?
There probably is.
No. Okay. So I can tell you that we have our own plans, but I can also assure you that if it turns out that it's skimpy, we fix it. I walk the neighborhood too. Not as much as President Grinson, of course.
Nobody walks it as much as.
Yeah. But the point is, if the next door neighbor has a really nice package and we don't, we will fix it because we have pride of ownership as well. I mean, that's probably not much more I can say about that.
No, that's good.
John, you have anything?
No, all good, thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys good? Okay, well then, I'll open it up for public comments, and you folks are welcome to take the podium and share your thoughts with us. You have to tell us who you are, though.
My name's O'Connell, Mike O'Connell, and I'm representing the Homeowners Association of the 6 units across the street from this unit. This is the first time we've seen these, I think. They weren't sent out, were they, beforehand? Because nobody in my group they all asked me, what's the final, what are the final drawings going to look like? It's the first time I've seen them. The other thing is, the questions were, underground parking. Was there a traffic study done? And I guess we missed it.
There's not a traffic study required for a building of this size in town.
So nobody thinks that's a problem?
No. At least since it's come through the entire entitlement process, zoning board, the design review board, and this is their second
Right.
time here with us.
Well, I guess the people in the HOA are concerned about, you have 4 families, possibly 8 cars, roaming around where there were 2 or 3. And so I carry back the idea that it's not a problem.
All I'm saying is that we don't have a traffic study to either declare it a
Small,
problem
yeah.
or, yeah, it's just too small.
Yeah, okay. The other thing was this is a group that has other apartments in the village?
No, this is our first project in Mecca.
Okay, are there others that we could look at too?
Sure. We're doing 16 apartments in Wilmette at 1010 Central Avenue.
Okay,
We have just finished a 20-unit new construction in Chicago at 3120-22 North Broadway
okay.
in Chicago. That is East Lakeview neighborhood. We're building a 4-unit in Humboldt Park at 1629 North
Right.
Spalding. We are just closed last December at 26 powers that be and gotten the full support for the big plan. I mean, we own and manage about 700 odd units throughout the city in Chicago.
Right, good.
And suburbs. That's down from approximately 1,400 units 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And we're, you know, so I'm not going to tell you that we do everything right because we're human and people in our office make mistakes. I never do, but they do. But the point is that if we make a mistake, we fix it. We're responsive. We know that our responsibility is to take care of our tenants and then they'll take care of us. And we've had good luck with that. You know, that's the way it's supposed to be. I've been self-employed doing this on my own 25 years. Before that, I spent 10 years working for the big corporate guys downtown. Liked it. They're good guys. But you know, no disrespect to anybody who has one of those jobs, but I'm 33 years old and I'm like, why am I making rich guys, rich people, more wealthy? So I went to work for myself.
Got it.
The point is that if I make a mistake, I pay the price. And so we have every incentive to not only do it right, but to make sure that we continue to do it right.
Right. Do you have a packet that I could take back?
Mr. O'Connell, we're here to hear your public comment. I mean, it's been a long process for this particular applicant. I mean, he's been through many commissions here in town.
Right. We've
And,
been at several. Right.
good, well, and so this is.
I guess we missed the last one.
Yeah, well, it was actually online, the last one here at Village
Was it?
Council.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
And I would add that all of these renderings, I don't think any of them are brand new. They've all been presented, especially since the final DRB meeting and the ZBA, and I believe the landmark meeting as well.
But the design review board never saw these, did they?
Oh, no.
Yes,
They've approved them.
In fact,
they had a very heavy hand in these, yes,
Yeah.
They did.
yes.
They changed a lot.
You don't want
the only
this lot
change was
design.
the color of the brick, you know, that's.
Oh.
And the roofs.
Big of a space from lighter tan to a darker gray. Everything else is identical to that final meeting.
Okay.
And that was actually done at the very last minute when we were passing around the
Right.
brick sample.
I think I was there.
And you were there, yeah. And so, you know, we had an impromptu discussion, literally at the podium with everybody up there, and we said, yes, we like dark gray as well.
Okay, Eamon, we're gonna have to bring this in now, so,
That's it.
that's it?
Yeah. No, we just wanted to kind of catch up a little bit and find out where we were.
And Mike, rest assured, there's gonna be a lot of eyes on this project, including mine personally.
Oh, good.
And we'll make sure that the contractor behaves as well as we can expect.
Good.
And, you know,
Great.
it's on the radar screen.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
No, thank you, and I have to have one last word, I'm so sorry.
No,
I promise you.
Eamon, you're done.
Hopefully, not our last project here, so
You're-
we know we have to make this work and look good and be peaceful and quiet.
Don't talk yourself into a hole.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak? Okay, we'll close public comment. Any additional comments up here?
I think it looks good.
Andy, looks
Yeah,
good?
looks
Rob? Kim?
All good.
John? Okay. Then I'll go ahead and ask for a motion to adopt ordinance number M4 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Trustee Kripe?
Yes.
Trustee Swerk?
Yes.
Trustee Mancini?
Yes.
Trustee Apatow?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thanks, guys. You're good.
Good job.
All right, moving forward, ordinance number M5 2022. This is 108 Fuller Lane for variations. This is up for introduction, possible adoption. The applicant is requesting approval for zoning variations allowing the construction of an addition to the single-family residence. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval of the variations by a 6-0 vote on February 14th. And David is back here to run through this one.
Yes, so quickly run through this project. The property is located on Fuller Lane at the northwest corner of Winnetka Avenue and Fuller Lane. As you can see here, it's located adjacent to the new Trier Athletic fields, which are immediately to the west. Currently, there's a two-story home with a detached garage. That detached garage is along the west property line. And as you can see, the site is slightly irregularly shaped in terms of the front yard and rear yard are of different lengths, and then, which the front yard is along Fuller, and then the front property line along Winnetka Avenue is longer than the side yard to the north. We included images of the existing home in the ZBA packet, which is included in your materials. This is a plat of the existing improvements, pointing out the existing detached garage that's to be removed. The applicant is proposing an addition that consists of, on the first floor, a family room and a garage and a proposed mudroom. Above the garage on the second floor is an office and bath. Included in the materials are the floor plan for the project, the yellow highlighting the areas of the addition. This is the first floor and second floor. Also included are elevations. This is the proposed south elevation facing Winnetka Avenue. The addition there is on the left. Also included were elevations for the west and north sides showing the addition. As included in the agenda materials, the applicant is requesting 4 variations. One is for gross floor area. They exceed the maximum amount by about 190 square feet. And also looking for setback variations along Winnetka Avenue, as well as the rear yard along the west property line and the side yard, which is the north property line. The ZBA considered this at its February 14th meeting. We received one public comment that was an email in support, which is included in your materials. And then the ZBA did discuss with the applicant what options or alternatives they pursued. And in the end, they concluded that the requested variations met the standards that they consider when granting or recommending variations. They found that the lot, its unique shape, and it being on a corner, they found that the western portion of the lot was the best location for such an addition, given its proximity to the athletic field and what they were proposing to do in terms of the relationship of the rest of the floor plan of the house. And the 2-stall garage was appropriate given the challenges of parking in this area. So with that, they unanimously recommended approval. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions now or wait until you hear from the applicant.
We can go ahead and ask questions to David now. Do you have anything on the zoning piece?
I'm trying to, they're breaking it off, so the main entrance will be off Winnetka. Is that currently off Winnetka Avenue?
Yes,
It is.
yes. Oh, it's not?
The front door is Fuller Lane, but
The driveway is.
Currently.
Yes.
So that would remain the same. Okay, so there's already a breakthrough, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were talking about the drive.
Other questions for,
I think I read this, but just correct me if I read it on Friday. There's no extra stormwater drainage necessary for this addition, right?
Correct.
Okay,
That
'cause I
they
saw a
don't
note about
increase
that.
By more than 25%.
Okay.
And this may not be the right time to ask, but the garage door facing the street, you know, the elevation shows a very plain garage door. It's a really nice house elevation, it looks like. Are we able to suggest or ask for a
the
decorative
architects here?
garage door of some type? Oh.
One or two doors? Single. Okay.
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 That's the only thing I had.
If it was me, I'd put a fence into the athletic fields, but this, it's a nice lot.
It's busy.
Very nice.
Other questions for David? Do we want to hear from the applicant? Sure. Why don't you guys come on up to the podium? Identify yourselves, please.
Good evening, I'm Healy Rice, I'm the architect for the project, and I'm here with Brian Goodwin, who's the homeowner.
Ryan, last name?
Brian Goodwin, and my wife is Julia Goodwin.
Thank you.
I love what you're doing. It makes complete sense to me. So all great things. I know they're having construction across the street from you, right? And it's a tight turn. It's a small, Fuller's a really narrow street. What's the coordination process with construction happening there and then with you guys if this is approved?
I guess the house, the new
She's talking about
the new construction.
You're
or the-
107 or 109 Fuller, just
Yeah, it just so for congestion purposes because New Trier's right there and I know it gets busy and then Fuller's a narrow lane of where would you put a variety of construction and workers. So just curious if that was thought through on timing.
We're not sure when we'll actually be starting,
Okay.
and I'm not sure where they are in their process either, but,
it appears all of the work they're doing right now is interior, so the
Okay, good.
exterior is
Oh,
all
they're
done.
done.
So there's no demo, there's no sort of big trucks coming through. We've had some initial meetings with general contractors. They suggested to us, assuming we were approved, that we'd start sometime in May or June.
Well, all right, thanks.
Are you new to the area?
We've been here almost 4 years.
Okay.
So right when we started having kids, we moved up here. Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the area and you're just moving to a different place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were down in the city for
Oh, okay.
7 years, and then we moved up here.
Got it, thanks.
I don't have any questions, but I think it's great. I love Fuller Lane. I love the houses on Fuller Lane.
Go block.
It's great to see someone making an investment and keeping the house, preserving its character, and so it's great.
thank you.
Yeah, what I thought was interesting about this one is the second floor was an addition as well.
It looked like over the sunroom,
Oh, just a piece of it.
yeah.
Correct. So the owners that we purchased the home from, they did a nice addition. So they created the master bathroom above what was a sunroom, and then they also extended out like sort of a breakfast area off the kitchen, which is on the first floor, and above that is an extension of a bedroom.
Gotcha.
So they did do a two-story addition in the back of the house.
Interesting. Just keeps rolling.
He knows his house, that's
Yeah.
good, I like that.
So, John, any questions?
No, looks good, thanks.
Great. What do we do now? Any public comment on this item? You want to say anything, Kristen? No. Okay, I think we're good then. Can I, first of all, what do you guys feel about waiving intro?
Yes.
I see a good, everybody's saying yes. All right, then I'll go down this path. Do I have a motion to waive introduction of ordinance number M5 2022?
So moved.
Second.
Voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that carries. Now I'll move forward. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number M5 2022?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Trustee Apitoff?
Yes.
Trustee Mancini?
Yes.
Trustee Swerk?
Yes.
Trustee Kreip?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks, guys. We
Thank you.
One
appreciate
and
it.
done.
Thank you.
One and done. Okay, item 9, old business, there's none. Item 10, new business, there's none. Item 11, appointments, there are none. Item 12, closed session, thank goodness there is none. And item 13 is the adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Trustee Apitoff?
Yes.
Trustee Kreip?
Yes.
Trustee Mancini? Trustee Swerk?
Yes.
Thank you. We stand adjourned, and Kristen has a treat or two for us in the other room, so.